you receive Social Security, SSI, or SSDI right now, I need you to stop what you're doing and watch this video all the way through. Because something is happening in Washington right now that could directly affect the money that comes into your account every single month. And here's what I want you to understand from the very start. You haven't done anything wrong. You haven't made a mistake. But this change, it could still affect you. That's how important this is. There is a new plan, a real proposed plan that targets a monthly boost of up to $3,000 for millions of Americans on Social Security, SSI, and SSDI. Some people could see more money. Some people could see their benefits adjusted. And a lot of people right now are confused, worried, and not sure what to believe. So today, we're going to break this down. Plain English, no confusing government talk, no scary headlines, just the facts and what this means for you personally. Now, I know a lot of you watching right now depend on these benefits. Maybe Social Security is your main income. Maybe SSI or SSDI is what keeps the lights on and food on the table every month. And I know that when something changes, or even might change, it can feel scary. It can feel like the ground is shifting under your feet. You've probably already seen headlines about this. Some of them are alarming. Some of them are confusing. And honestly, a lot of them don't explain things in a way that regular people can actually understand and use. That's why we're here today. Because you deserve to know exactly what's going on. Not the political spin, not the noise. Just the truth, explained simply and clearly. So, let me make you a promise right now. By the time this video is over, you will understand what this new plan actually is, who it affects, what it could mean for your monthly payment, and most importantly, what you should do right now to make sure you're protected. We're going to go through this step by step. Nice and slow, and if I say something that sounds complicated, I'm going to come back and say it again in simpler terms, because this matters, and I want to make sure you really get it. Okay, so here's what's happening. There is a proposal being discussed in Congress, and it has been getting a lot of serious attention that would increase monthly Social Security payments for certain beneficiaries by a significant amount. We're talking about increases that could reach up to $3,000 per month for some individuals, depending on their specific situation. Now, this proposal involves several different pieces. First, there's a push to raise the base benefit amount for people who have been on Social Security for many years, especially people who are 80 and older. Second, there are discussions about increasing SSI payments, which have not kept up with the rising cost of living for a very long time. And third, there are serious conversations about adjusting how SSDI, that's disability benefits, are calculated for people with long-term conditions. I want to say that again because I want it to be crystal clear. Some people on Social Security could get more money each month. How much more depends on your age, how long you've been receiving benefits, and what type of benefit you receive. Not everyone will get the same amount. And not everyone will qualify for the maximum increase, but millions of people across this country could be affected by this. Tens of millions, possibly. So, if you're receiving any kind of Social Security benefit right now, this is something you need to understand. Now, here's where it gets a little complicated. And I have to tell you this because I want you to have the full picture, and I don't want you to be caught off guard. This is a proposal. It is not a law yet. Congress has to vote on it. The president has to sign it. And in Washington, things can change very quickly. A bill that looks certain one week can stall or get tied up the next. So while this is a real plan being seriously discussed, and there is real, meaningful support behind it, nothing is finalized just yet. That's important to keep in mind as you hear more about this in the news. Here's the other thing I want you to understand. With any major change to Social Security, SSI, or SSDI, when payment amounts change, the Social Security Administration has to update its systems. That takes time. It's a massive operation. And during that transition period, some people may experience delays, temporary confusion, or adjustments to their payments while everything gets processed and sorted out. That does not mean your benefits are being taken away. I want to be very clear about that. Any disruption during a transition like this is about process. It is not a punishment, and it is not permanent. Let me give you a real-life example so this makes sense in a practical way. Let's say there's a woman. Let's call her Margaret. Margaret is 74 years old. She lives alone in a small apartment. She gets about $1,400 a month from Social Security. That's her only income. She worked her entire life, paid into the system for decades, and she's been retired for about 9 years now. Under this new proposal, Margaret could potentially see her monthly check go up by several $100s, maybe more, because of provisions specifically designed to help long-term retirees who have watched inflation eat into the value of their fixed benefits year after year. For Margaret, that extra money could mean the difference between turning the heat down at night or keeping it at a comfortable temperature, between skipping her medication to save money or filling her prescription on time, between worrying about groceries at the end of the month or having enough. That's what we're really talking about here. Real money, real life, real impact on real people. But here's what Margaret also needs to know, and what you need to know too. She will not automatically receive more money the very day this passes, if it passes. There is a process. The SSA will notify her. Her account information needs to be current and correct, and she needs to make sure she hasn't missed any letters or notices from Social Security in recent months.
And honestly, I want to be balanced with you here, because that's the only way this is useful to you. Not everything about this proposal is completely simple good news. There are some concerns being raised by policy experts. Some worry that without careful planning, a large increase in payments could trigger reviews of existing recipients, meaning the SSA may reach out to confirm that you still qualify for your current benefit level. Some people who haven't updated their address, phone number, or banking information in years may miss those notices, and if that happens, it could cause unnecessary stress and delays. In a worst-case scenario, and I want to be clear that this is not likely for most people who stay informed and keep their information current, someone who doesn't respond to an SSA review notice in time could see a temporary hold placed on their payment while the review is completed. That would be stressful, but it would be temporary and it would absolutely be fixable. The reason I'm telling you this is not to scare you, it's to prepare you. Because the people who have their information up to date and who respond promptly to any SSA communications will move through any transition like this smoothly. Now let me give you the good news, because there is genuinely good news here and it's worth saying clearly. This proposal has more bipartisan support than anything related to Social Security has seen in years. Members of both political parties in Congress have come out in support of protecting and increasing benefits for seniors and people with disabilities. There are major advocacy groups, senior organizations, and disability rights groups all pushing hard for this to move forward. The political will is there in a way it hasn't been for a long time. And here is something else I need you to hear, and I need you to really hold on to this. Your Social Security benefits are not going away. I'm going to say that one more time. Your benefits are not going away. There are people out there, on social media, in emails, sometimes in phone calls, who will try to scare you into thinking your benefits are being canceled, suspended, or cut off completely. That is not what is happening. That is not what this proposal does. Do not let anyone frighten you with that kind of talk. The Social Security program is protected by law. What is being discussed right now is how to make it better, not how to take it away. The goal of this proposal is to increase what you receive, especially for the people who need it most. So, what's the timeline? When would any of this actually happen? Here's the honest answer. If this proposal passes in the coming months, the earliest most people would see any actual change to their monthly payments would likely be somewhere in the next 6 to 12 months after passage. These things take time to implement properly. The SSA needs to update its systems, notify tens of millions of recipients, and carefully process the changes for each individual case. You will receive a letter by mail before any changes are made to your payment amount. That is standard procedure, and that will not change. If you ever see an unexpected change in your bank account before receiving a letter explaining it, call the SSA directly to ask why. Their number is 1-800-772-1213. And if someone ever calls you on the phone and says your benefits are changing and they need your banking information or social security number to process the increase, hang up immediately. That is a scam. The SSA does not call you out of the blue to ask for personal information over the phone. Please remember that and share it with anyone you know who might be vulnerable to those kinds of calls. Before we get to the action steps, let me quickly clear up a few things I know people are worried about, because I've been seeing the same questions come up again and again. Some people believe their benefits are being cut by this plan. They are not. This proposal is about increasing benefits, not reducing them. Some people think they will need to apply separately to receive the extra money. For most people, that is not the case. If the increase applies to your benefit type, the SSA will adjust your payment automatically. You don't need to apply, and you absolutely do not need to pay anyone to help you get it. And some people believe this only helps wealthy retirees. That is also not accurate. This proposal is specifically designed to help lower and middle-income Social Security recipients, SSI recipients, and people on SSDI who struggle the most to make ends meet on a fixed income. So, what I want you to do this week? These are simple, practical steps that will protect you and make sure you don't miss out on anything. First, make sure your mailing address is up to date with Social Security. If you've moved in the last few years and haven't notified the SSA, do it now. You can update it online at ssa.gov, by phone at 1-800-772-1213, or by visiting your local Social Security office in person. Second, make sure your direct deposit information is correct. If your bank account has changed at any point and you haven't updated it with the SSA, do that right away. A lot of payment delays happen simply because banking information is outdated. Third, if you're still receiving paper checks instead of direct deposit, please consider making the switch. Direct deposit is safer, faster, and ensures you receive any payment changes without delay or risk of a lost check in the mail. Fourth, keep every letter you receive from Social Security. Don't throw them away even if they seem routine. If you receive something you don't fully understand, ask a trusted family member to read it with you, or call the SSA and ask them to walk you through it. Fifth, and I cannot say this strongly enough, be aware of scams. Nobody will call you, text you, email you, or knock on your door to help you claim this money. Nobody legitimate will ask you to pay a fee up front, provide your full Social Security number to a stranger, or give out your banking information over the phone. If anyone approaches you that way, it is a scam. Walk away, and if you can, report it. Now I want to hear from you. Down in the comments, tell me, are you currently receiving Social Security, SSI, or SSDI? And is there something specific about this proposal that you'd like me to explain in more detail in a future video? Your questions genuinely help me figure out what matters most to the people watching, so please don't be shy. Type it out in the comments below. Look, I know this is a lot to take in all at once, and I know that times have been genuinely hard for a lot of people. When you're on a fixed income, every single dollar counts. Every dollar matters, and you deserve to know exactly what is happening with your money in plain language without someone trying to confuse you or scare you. So if this video helped you understand things a little bit better today, please share it with someone you love, a parent, a grandparent, a neighbor, a friend, anyone who depends on Social Security, SSI, or SSDI, because they deserve to know this too, and they deserve to hear it explained in a way they can actually understand. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, please consider doing that today. We cover these kinds of updates regularly, and we'll be here every time something important changes, whether that's a new payment increase, an important deadline, or an action you need to take to protect your benefits. Straight talk, no confusion, just information you can actually use. Take care of yourself, and we'll see you in the next one.